All right, it's 5 o'clock. I'll call the January 16th City of Cumming Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Item number 2, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a move with adopt.
Second.
Motion seconded by vote, carries as unanimous. Thank you. Item number 3, do I have a motion to approve the December 19th, 2023 minutes?
Motion to approve the minute.
Second.
Motion seconded by vote, carries unanimous. Thank you. 4, old business, Providence Group LLC rezone number 2023156, postponed till 2/20.
Yep.
B, Forsyth ILAL Investors LLC, 2023264 is postponed to 2/20. All right, new business. A, Horizon Christian Academy annexation number 2023265. Now, motion to open public hearing.
Make a motion, we open public hearing.
Second.
By vote, public hearing open. Ethan, you want to tell us what we got going on here?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, Ethan Underwood with Miles Hansford, and pleased to represent Horizon Christian Academy's request to annex into the city. I'm trying to get my slideshow going here. It's been a while since I've seen you gentlemen, and if you don't remember, PowerPoint is my crutch, so I appreciate you tolerating me. But this is a 32.985 acre tract, and it is zoned R1, which is an old defunct zoning category in the county. If brought into the city, we're requesting an institutional zoning, which would match what's across the street. You can see here, this is Horizon Christian Academy's property. They have been operating on this site for some time. It's across the street from the county's election office and part of the magistrate office, as well as residential neighborhoods across the street. And you can see on this particular map, the purple is city limits, and outside, obviously on the north side of Sawney Drive, is currently not outside of the city limits. This is the city zoning map to give you a flavor of what's in the area. If this were to be brought into the city, again, institutional in blue, there's a large chunk across the street and catty-cornered to the site, so we feel this would be an appropriate zoning. The survey and site plan here that's shown on the left, that's the existing structures on the property. So if any of y'all have toured the school, it is athletic fields are currently operating, and you have the buildings that are shown on the lower corner. The master plan is what's in color to the right. So that's the long-term plan. We don't know when those additional buildings will be constructed. It may be 2 years, maybe 10 years, obviously as the school grows and raises capital funds. But this is their master plan for the long term. What we want to emphasize, and you can see there are large buffered areas and trees. We'll talk a little bit about the county concerns and things that have been raised during the county zoning process. But importantly, you've got residential folks to the north who've expressed concern and wanted to make sure they maintain buffering and their privacy. So that's what the master plan is demonstrating. Now, the property has been gone through a couple of iterations. It went through a conditional use permit application in the county, when it originally was approved as a school, and it got a variance to be able to utilize a septic system. Last year, they wanted to light their athletic fields. So that variance, you can actually see it says variance number 1. I'll zoom in so you can read it a little more easily. It was carried over for the sewer. Obviously, we'll have to work with the city as to whether that ties on to sewer at some point in the future. But the biggest thing that we addressed last year was, could we get some additional pole heights to match what's over at Central High School and their athletic fields? That's what we were requesting from the county. And in doing so, we had additional conditions that were tacked on. So what we would like to emphasize is Horizon Christian Academy is not coming into the city to get rid of or bypass county zoning regulations, and we're submitting these to you. HCA has consented to, if this is annexed into the city, have these tacked on and carried on so that the folks who negotiated these conditions will still get the benefit of that bargain. Again, this is getting into the weeds, but this is some of the zoning conditions that specifically condition the design. Again, that would be brought into the city as well. This is the concern was light spillage. And again, this is with the master plan here. So the school is excited to be into the city, coming into the city. Very excited, I think, to have a private school option in the city of Cumming. We have a large delegation from the school. They're here, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and we'll reserve the remainder of our time for rebuttal or questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else want to speak on this? Excuse me?
I'd like to speak against it.
Okay, come on up.
My name is George Notel. I live in Adair Park that's right across from that. My biggest concern with that is with them growing, right now they have parents pick up their children from school and they block Sawney Road. I have epilepsy. My sons have had to call 911 and get an ambulance. The folks there stop there and feel they can block traffic. An ambulance may not be able to get in there. Someone may bypass that road, ambulance hit them. And then nobody's coming to me, and they got another accident. I think before they do anything, they need to add an extra road so that people can get in and out of there. I'm not on the board of the HOA for Adair Park, but I don't think anybody has spoken to us about how that's going to impact us with the lights, because that's the first I ever heard that they were going to have lights. They had a sporting event a few months ago. They put a sign up that said, "No parking in Adair Park." We saw people walking in and out, and they were clearly parking in there. They weren't doing anything to stop it. And so they have that huge area. I don't see any reason why they can't put a road in there to prevent blocking traffic. That's my biggest concern, is when they get bigger, they're going to block traffic even more. With Sawney Road becoming the bypass when it goes all the way to Pilgrim Mill, there's going to be even more traffic on there, because we're already going to have to deal with that bypass, which I'm okay with that because it means I can bypass coming through the city. But until they can do something like that to prevent people from just stopping on Sawney Road on both directions, I don't think they should be part of the city. That's all.
Anyone else? Y'all got any questions?
Mr. Chairman, do we have time to rebut?
Yeah, give me just a second first, though, because I think we got some questions, then we'll do.
If y'all address what he's talking about, I've come through there, I know what he's talking about, the traffic. Everybody just, when they come get their kids, they're just gonna stop wherever.
Come on up, Ethan. Let me ask you, and then, yeah, and like he said, if y'all address that, and my question is showing all this plan right here, but we're not approving any plans or anything. This is just pure annexation. We're not addressing.
Yeah, there's no plans to do
We're not
anything else
addressing
or
anything
anything.
as far as any future.
The other
Right
thing-
now, that would come in.
The other thing I'd point out is that what Mr. Notel is talking about, of course, is Sawney Drive. It's State Route 306. It's state highway.
Yeah, but like I said.
I mean,
but
we
what
don't
I'm
have
talking
any
about is we're
control
not-
over what happens on the state.
But we're not, in other words, the question for us tonight, though, has got nothing to do with future development right now.
That's correct. It's simply
Okay, I'm just
annexing
getting
what's
clarification
there
from
and rezoning, annexing what's there and rezoning it to one
Okay,
of our.
all right.
okay.
Question for you, Ethan, and then I'll give you your rebuttal. I just want to make some stuff
Sure.
clear here. On this lighting of these approval for these lights, it was approved by the county last year.
Yes.
Have they been put in yet, or is it just, but it was approved by the county, but have they been installed?
They have not been installed yet,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, now go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get
Sure.
clear, make sure I knew what we were talking about.
Sure. To the gentleman's concern, we understand, and Horizon Christian wants to be a good neighbor, but we would submit to you that that's something that the city could have a greater hand in regulating if there are concerns with parking out there. If this application is denied, the school's still there, the school's still going to grow under the county regulations, the lighting's been approved. So this isn't a matter of whether the school goes there or not, it's a matter of where's the best location for the school. So the school certainly would prefer to be in the city. If there are concerns that as parking, then we're certainly happy to work with the city to ameliorate those. But whether the school operates is really not a subject that you are deciding. It's going to continue to operate, but we would love to work with this gentleman to see if we can address his concerns.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You got any other questions, Ricky, for right now, before we discuss? You got any other questions before we close the public hearing? Anyone else want to speak before we close the public hearing? Okay, I got a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a move to close.
Second.
No second, public hearing closed. All right. My question, if they'd put the lights right now anyway, we don't really have control
Move that.
over that one way or the other. And any future development, if we're gonna do this, we need to condition it back that it has to come back for approval before the council, and then you can address, then you can address the items that we're talking about. There's no way to address them right now. And if you don't have control of it, if you don't annex it, you're never gonna be able to address it. All right, do we have a staff report?
Yes, sir. The owner has made application to the proper authorities to annex 32.95 acres more or less and rezone from county single-family residential to city institutional. The subject property, 1270 Sawney Drive, is the location of a private Christian school known as Horizon Christian Academy. The owner has no plans to alter the existing use this time. Given the subject property is not within the corporate limits, it is not depicted on the city's future land use map. However, directly adjacent zoning future land use across Sawney Drive is designated as public, institutional, and low-density residential on the city's future land use map. Therefore, this rezoning upon annexation is in conformance with the city's comprehensive plan. Forsyth County has acknowledged receipt of the applicant's annexation petition. However, they have not officially notified the city as to whether or not they will object to the proposed annexation rezoning. That information is in your packet. The owner's attorney has also included, as discussed, the county CUP conditions and the variances approved by the Board of Commissioners, which the owners agreed to comply with and incorporated into the annexation rezoning request to the city. That information is also in your packet. Based upon the city's zoning and future land use designation, the staff would recommend approval of the annexation rezoning as requested, absent county objection. I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Okay. I got one question for you, Ethan. What is the slide, what is the date of whatever was approved by the county?
The last set of conditions that were approved by the county.
July 10th, 2023?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And we've got in here based on some of the staff recommendation, as I said, absent county objection. All right. I make a motion, we send this annexation forward to the council for approval as per the staff report and add the following conditions. All conditions placed on this property on July 10th, 2023 by Forsyth County shall remain with the property. Item number 2, any future development, construction, or change in site conditions must come before the boards again for approval. That way we can deal with the public's concern, make sure we get buffer setbacks and everything like we need it to be.
When you say the board, are you talking about the city council? Or are you talking about you?
The city council.
Okay.
Or do we need to do both? I don't know. Do we need to do both at that point?
No, because you're not gonna change the zoning, you're not making a zoning decision, there'd be no well, you're not gonna do a rezoning on ordinance.
But it does give the public a chance to have input
Sure.
going forward with it.
If what you're saying is if you're talking about any additional changes to the, or, we don't have a sketch plat approval process in Cumming, but I understand what you're trying to accomplish, and we can certainly work with the applicant's attorney to make sure that it's accomplished before we get to the mayor and council.
Yes, because what I'm saying is if they come back and they're going to add on, if we need to require road improvements, if we need to require things, at that point we can. Right now, they're not doing anything, we can't ask for anything.
Okay.
All right. Those two conditions, do I have a second?
I second.
Everybody vote? Carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more on this, Ethan, if you don't mind. Please get his information and see if y'all can work, the parking issue, something you can deal with this time before the council meeting, if y'all don't mind getting together and work on that. I mean, that's the one thing we can deal with right now that.
Yes, sir.
We can. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Item B, Goodwin Investments Incorporated, CUP number 2023274. To have a motion to open public hearing.
Motion, we open public hearing.
Second.
Motion second up by vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you. All right, who we got want to come forward and tell us what's going on here?
Mr. Goodwin.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Ibrahim Guven. I am the owner of the Guven Investment. I purchased the land from the city of Cumming, as may you know, in past summer. And as you may know, this was an old landfill. We made an application for an outside storage facility on this land. My plan is clear the land, make it really nice for the city, fence it, use the landscaping as required from the city. And then have a business up and running as an outside storage. If you have any questions.
We might in a minute. Let's see what else we got. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Do y'all have any questions on this one before we close public hearing from the applicant? Have a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close it.
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries. Thank you. All right, Scott, do we have a staff report on this one?
Yes, sir. Yeah, in your packet. The owner has made application to the proper authorities for the conditional use permit to establish an outside storage facility in the Highway Business Zoning District. The property is fronting Buford Dam Road between the Kingswood Residential Subdivision and the Linear Tire Business. The combined acreage for the two parcels is 4.56 acres. Staff recommends approval of the CUP with the following conditions. Per the owner's CUP site plan, the Buford Dam Road frontage of the parcel can utilize a 4-rail equestrian fence in front of a minimum of 2 rows of a variety of visual landscape plantings to be approved by the Planning and Zoning Department. The remaining perimeter of the Buford Dam Road parcel must be either fenced with a 8-foot-high wooden privacy fence or slatted chain link fence. Condition number 2, a landscape plan for the entire site must be submitted to and approved by the Planning and Zoning Department before installation and include a variety of visual landscape plantings from the lots along the northern boundary. Condition number 3, as indicated on the owner's CUP site plan, a secured gated entrance will be required, including a concrete entrance apron off Buford Dam Road. Condition number 4, given this property is identified as an environmentally sensitive parcel in our zoning ordinance, core sample results will be required before any building can be approved to be constructed on the property. And condition number 5, the future outdoor expansion area as identified on the owner's CUP site plan will need to be reviewed and approved by the Planning and Zoning Department before it can be established. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No, sir.
I make a motion, we send this forward to the board for approval with the conditions, but add one on condition 3. The secure gate entrance will be required, including a concrete entrance apron off Buford Dam that aligns with Lakeside Center Parkway. Where we get our driveways aligned, where we don't have something out of whack. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any announcements?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Here, thank you. We're adjourned.